Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And tonight we are talking about substance recovery and the impact it has on the family dynamics. I was inclined to do this video because I have several substance abuse clients who have issues with their family members because of their substance use. And I was like, I think I'll do a video on that. So if that's something you are interested in hearing about or just learning about, stay around and we will be right back. So, hey guys, so substance use has a history of being seen as a individual problem, meaning a person is going through substance use, so whether that is alcohol or illicit substance use, it tends to be an isolated individual situation. And oftentimes we'll find family members doing just that, saying, hey, you're the one that's using, you're the one that needs to go to treatment, you are the one who needs to get help. You. And so it often is isolated as an individual problem. However, while this may be the case where the person is the individual engaging in substance use, this has this frequently affects the entire family or family members that are involved in the life of this person. So there are many stereotypes surrounding addicts being loners. However, while an addict or a substance user may reside alone, they sometimes have relationships with many family members. According to a research done in 1997 by Stanton and Stadish, it revealed that majority of substance users, and I'm reading directly from the paper, guys, for this one, majority of substance users who are under the age of 35 either live with or have at least weekly contact with one, both parents, or a family member. So it is important to explore and understand the family dynamics, what family members expect from their loved ones in and out of recovery, and how their expectations and judgment impacts the long-term recovery of both the clients, the substance user, and the family members. So what I see, guys, is that oftentimes you have a person who is either in recovery, making adjustments to long-term recovery, and they may also be struggling with the family issues because they are either shunned, they're are hurting their family members, and that impacts their recovery and also impacts the way the family members deal with them. So a family member can either serve as a protective factor or as a buffer. And oftentimes we find that this causes a lot of different issues within the family unit. So now let's look at the impact that the substance use has on the family dynamics. One, substance use can impact the trust and in the family and weaken communication. Absolutely. Oftentimes you'll find where the substance user has lied about their substance use, just recurring over a period of time, just lies on top of lies. And you will find that the family members are now just, there's no trust, they don't believe anything that person says, and then that impacts communication. Number two, it can impact emotional pain and trauma in family members. We see this a lot where you may have a substance user, a family member who's just emotionally disconnected. They're just emotionally drained. They're emotionally tired. They're hurt because oftentimes they are trying to figure out, how did this happen? Especially a parent may say, I didn't use. How did they get to this? And that inflicts a lot of emotional pain on family members. Number three, it can evoke feelings of hopelessness when family members feel they have exhausted all their efforts. Absolutely. I see this so much where you may find a family member just being like, I'm done. I give up. I don't want to. They may get to that point where they don't want to do anything with the client, or they are just overwhelmed each time something comes up with this person. And so that becomes a problem, because now you are in now this substance use from one person has now triggered mental health issues into other family members. And that is why I say all the time, substance use is a domino effect on mental health. There is a direct impact to your mental health when there is substance use involved, be it from the substance user or from a family member. And that is why in substance use they often ask if the client has a family member that they want to participate in treatment with them. Number 4, it creates a dysfunctional family system, which may cause family member to take on different roles. This one is key, because not only does substance use creates a dysfunctional family, it also creates different roles within the family. And when I say different roles, I mean, for example, you may have a grandmother who now takes on the role as the direct caregiver, the direct parent for a grandchild, because the parent is on substance, is in recovery, or actively using substance. So it creates a dysfunction in the family, because grandma or grandpa is no longer playing their role. They are now playing the role of the parent, and it creates that dysfunction because it creates a wedge in the function of the family, and just creates a lot of other domino effects. So what I have done is categorize some of the effects on the dysfunction. One, you may have a family member now assuming the role as a saver. They want to save this person. So now they are trying everything in their power to put the person in treatment, to be there to save the person. You may also have the comic, which is the family member who is embarrassed about the person who is in recovery, and so they may joke a lot to try and relieve their pain or the emotional trauma that they feel from this person. You may have the lost child, which is the child who is now, God, Jesus, I'm itchy. But you may have the child who is now emotionally and physically withdrawn, because they may either be teased at school, or they just don't know how to express what they're feeling about their parent or guardian on substance, and it directly impacts their ability to communicate and to socialize. So big one right there. Next, you have the scapegoat, and the scapegoat is usually the person in the family that someone else blamed for the person who is on drugs. And usually this may be a distant relative, maybe auntie, uncle, or someone distant, right? And that person will become the scapegoat, and they're like, Uncle Tom is the one who introduced them to cigarettes, and then he started smoking marijuana, and now he's using cocaine, and now he's using heroin, right? So there's usually someone in the family that is blamed for this person's substance use. Next, you have the enabler, and this, guys, is self-explanatory. I see this so much, right? Where you'll have that person who they enable the behavior on sometimes consciously and sometimes unconsciously, right? They may be trying to, they are that protective buffer for the person, because they are trying to protect the person instead of telling them they need to get to help and help them to get on their recovery journey. They enable the behavior by making excuses for whatever they are using. So this is important to understand how substance use impacts the functioning of the family. So now, guys, let's look at what the family members may expect from a loved one if they're in recovery or if they have returned from an inpatient recovery. Because you may have a person who is in inpatient recovery or outpatient recovery. One, a family member may expect the loved one to return to normal functioning after they've been in recovery, which is a no-no, because you're assuming that this person is now quote unquote cured and they are ready to return to normalcy, which is not the key. And so this may also now create more issues in the family dynamics. Number two, they expect them to be ready to fix, mend, and strengthen relationships that they impacted while they were either intoxicated or going through the stages of their drug use. And so this is a big one because they are not ready. They're in that crucial part of their recovery where they're in that, I call it the selfish phase of recovery. And the reason I call it the selfish phase of recovery is this is the phase that the family member is learning about the triggers that are around them, how to implement new coping skills into their lives so that they can monitor and manage their exposures to substance use. And so they are not at all in the mind frame to sit down and address and take accountability for the impact their substance use had on family member. This, I believe, comes the latter part in the maintenance phase of their recovery, when they have not mastered but grasped a better hold on their own recovery. Number three, family members may now want to monitor and constantly help to keep the substance user on track. And this to me is a big no-no. They, again, are in that phase where they are learning to take accountability for themselves, find ways to monitor their triggers and exposures. And so if you come in and try to be the savior, like we said, from the effects it has on the functioning of the family, now you are trying to take away that independency from them, which may reintroduce them back to substance use, right? So you want to be very careful how you are monitoring and encouraging the maintenance of their recovery in this part. So what many family members don't understand is that addiction is a disease without a cure, right? So this is a long-term process for a substance user. Recovery and a healthy lifestyle are possible, but they take work, commitment, and major lifestyle changes. And I'll add that it also takes consistency. If your loved one in recovery is not meeting your expectations and you find yourself growing hurt and resentment, it's time for you to learn about addiction and get involved with others, because it's not about your expectations. It's about them. It's about the substance user and how they can manage their life after a period of using drugs, right? What we have when we have expectations about our loved ones' addiction recovery, we are expecting them to recover in our terms, with our guidelines and our demands. And you have to be able to take yourself out of that and put the ball in their court. Allow them to be the master of their lives. Allow them to make some decision while you are supporting them. It's not about you. It's about the substance user. So now let's look at some of the things that you can do as a family member to encourage long-term recovery and to encourage your loved ones to become more accountable for their recovery. One of the things is that you want to remember that addiction recovery is not measured by timelines, nor is it based on any universal standards. It is a process, and it is fueled by each individual who wants it and is willing to work towards it. So one, you want to be able to have a open line of communication. And I cannot say this enough. I feel like I'm praying right now, right? I cannot say this one enough. You must be able to have an open line of communication with your loved ones. It is important for your loved ones to have a place to go to and to not feel judged. And this particularly might be hard, especially because of the impact, the hurt, the emotional trauma that their substance use had on the family. It can be hard to reestablish communication. However, that is the foundation to securing a better relationship with your loved one. Number two is you want to be honest with your loved one. It is important to start having those difficult conversations and really opening up about your thoughts and feelings in a healthy way. I love to say, have healthy dialogues. Instead of talking about what the person did 5 years ago when they were overdosed and you thought they were going to die, you can rephrase that to, I am happy that you are in a better place. It brings me more joy to see you in a healthy way. That can resonate with, darn, I almost died years ago, instead of you literally bringing that up. Like, you know what you did? Like, you made me almost end up in the hospital when you overdosed that night. Almost reliving that trauma. And we don't want to do that, because we don't want to start reintroducing those negative emotions, those negative feelings that we had from years ago or from months ago. But to be honest in a healthy way, right? Number three, you want to be authentic, right? You want to model what you want from your loved one. So if you want support, show them support. Model what that support looks like so that they can do what it is that you're expecting from them. Number four, you want to encourage. Be a cheerleader. Take interest in their new life. So if they want to go to a 12-step meeting, encourage that. If they want you to be a part of their support group, be that. Encourage the new lifestyle so that you can have them being more accountable for the stuff that they're doing. Participate in meetings. This will show them that you are there for them no matter what. Step back and allow them to ask for help. So don't be too quick to want to offer the help. Help your loved ones build their confidence back by taking that step back and letting them come to you, right? I'm sure you'll also feel some validation from them coming to ask for the help. And then the last one I'll say is walk alongside with them through this journey, not in front of them, trying to lead them, trying to tell them what not to do. Because if they're not ready yet to be in recovery, then they're not going to be. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what song you sing. If they are not ready to take their recovery serious, then they won't. And I see this so much at the methadone clinic, right? Where a lot of clients come in, they get on methadone, but yet they're still using cocaine, they're still using fentanyl, they're still using opioids, they're still using everything under the sun. And oftentimes I'll have that conversation with them when I'm doing a treatment plan. I'll say, well, I realize that you're still using. What is your motivation to change? What are the triggers that are causing you to continue using? And why are you here? Why are you in treatment? And they will tell you, because I have had clients who say, I'm only here because my wife says she's going to divorce me and I'm trying to please her. So not that they want to change, but because they are trying to appease the wife, because they don't want to lose that relationship. But at the same time, they're still not giving up the drugs because they are not motivated by themselves. This is not an intrinsic motivation. This is external, someone saying you better, and when you have that, you won't get true consistency and you won't have that person truly vested in the process. And until they're truly vested for themselves, that is when you will see true change. That is when you will see consistency. And that is when you will see the mental health aspect becoming a little lighter. So walk alongside with them, not in front of them, not dictating what they do. If it's not working for you, you may have to take a step back. If this is your spouse and it's directly impacting the communication, the dynamics of the family and the functioning of the family, you may have to take a step back and say, hey, you need to get yourself together. I'll be here when you come back. Or if you can't, then you can't, right? But you want to walk beside them and encourage and do all the stuff that's going to promote healthy recovery. So guys, I know I just rambled on for like 20 minutes. I just said a whole lot, but I honestly think that this is so important because, again, substance use impact not just the user, but us, the family members. And it is key that us, the family members, also understand how it is impacting us and getting the help that we need for ourselves. So two support stuff that I would leave with you guys is Al-Anon. And this group is for family members who have families engaging in substance use. These groups are usually online, they're in person, and I know with COVID a lot of places may still not be doing in-person groups, but you can go to intheroom.com. This is one of my favorite sites to find support. You can get, if you're having mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, if there is substance use, you have a lot of groups that helps with this. You have NA meetings, AA meetings, Al-Anon meetings, anxiety meeting. There are different groups that are on intheroom.com. It is free to the public. You can turn your webcam on to participate or you don't. But this is a great site. I use it for myself for personal care. And as you see myself, my shirt says self-care checklist loading, right? And you can find this, guys, in the link in my information. This is from my t-shirt line. But again, guys, you can also participate in 12-step program. 12-step program is not only for the substance user, but you may find more support from an Al-Anon group, because you may find other family members who may be going through something similar to share their experiences, and you can gather support and strength from that. So yes, guys, thank you guys for tuning into another video. And as always, if you are new to my channel, thanks for being a part of the family. If you are returning, hey, good to see you again. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if this channel suits your needs, and go ahead, turn your notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's continue the discussion down below. This is how I am able to connect with you guys on a one-on-one level. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.